Okay, now we're doing our post-observation conference with Miss Doles after her lesson today, and the lesson went extremely well. The students were engaged, they were involved, so those are some really good highlights of her lessons today. So now, Miss Doles, I'm going to ask you a few questions again like we did this morning. In light of your instructional objectives, how do you think the lesson went?
It went really well. I was so excited. The students seemed to work really well together. I only had to redirect just a couple of times. They were excited to work with each other. I think that we really executed the objectives of the lessons very well.
Yeah, and I'll insert here, I think you did too, and you did a good job of redirecting the few who, I mean, you are always going to have a couple who are going to be off in La La Land, but you did a really good job of redirecting them, and this was something that they were actually interested in, especially once they made the connection.
Right.
Once the first connection was made, then they just got more interested in it, or that was one of my observations. Do you think the students learned what you wanted them to learn?
After briefly going over my exit tickets to see, most of them were able to make at least one connection. I had several that made more than one, so that was really exciting. And that's between, the historical events of the Russian Revolution and Animal Farm. So I think it was very successful.
So they were able to take one, connect it to the other, and then explain how they made the connections. Because a lot of times they can make the connections, but they don't know how to explain to you or to their peers.
And I'm hoping that comes out a lot in the future.
Yeah, it will. I'm going to have to come back and watch your presentations on these. Were the choices of teaching methods or strategies effective? Do you believe they were?
Yes, I do. I think that they were. Of course, students they just don't like and they don't learn well with lecture anymore. You've got to get them involved, and when they can work with each other and work with their peers, to me, I think that they learn a little bit more. Anytime you can do technology, and I love that we have the availability of the Chromebooks, because when they can do that technology, because believe it or not, they're on that phone, they're on some kind of technology all the time, so this is their comfort zone. And when you can break through and have learning established in their comfort zone, I think that they just, run with it.
Yes. And also, Miss Doles did an excellent job. This was all on her Google Classroom. So now the students, when they get home, they actually have access to everything she's doing in her classroom right there at home. If they need extra work or say they miss a day, it's right there for them. She's done a great job of that.
And this is going to be an ongoing, because what they are doing is they're going to take what they learn and they're going to turn around and present it to the class next week. And I had some groups who decided that they were going to do a PowerPoint. I had one group that was going to do a skit. I even had one group that decided that they were going to do a song. So they are writing a song. It actually had a couple of musicians, so they were able to write the song and start that process. And I'm really excited to come to see next week, and I hope that you're able to come in and see.
Oh, yes, definitely. And like she just said there, she had musicians in one group, and she didn't tell them they had to do a PowerPoint presentation. She let them choose, and I thought that was an excellent tool that you utilized with this lesson. Any other comments about the lesson that you have, or just that you want me to know from being in there?
I'm thankful that I like it when we have administrators come in and see. To me, it shows the students that, the old concept of it takes more than one person. It takes a whole village to raise. I think that when you have administrators in, that it shows them that it's not just one, that it's everybody caring for to get them to a specific level. And that you wouldn't be in there if you didn't care about them and care about me getting to that level for them to achieve and meet all of the goals that they need to meet.
Right. And I just want to make a few comments. Ms. Doles did an excellent job. Her students, from the time they walked in the door, they knew what to expect with as far as procedures, classroom routines. And I really feel like they learned what she wanted them to learn. So now they can turn around and teach their classmates what they did learn. And we know, like we said in our pre-conference, they cannot turn around and teach it unless they genuinely know it. And so they did an excellent job today of genuinely learning something and being able to present it to their classmates. Thank you, Ms. Dulles, for doing this
Thank
for
you.
me.
We were glad to have you, and we'd like to have you back any other
Oh,
time.
yes, I'm coming back next week.
All right.